here. Beautiful. And without further ado, so welcome everyone. Just some really quick announcements from the Fearless Artist before we dive into our first presentation. So we have just a couple things here. First of all, if you are interested in TFA merch, we have some really awesome products that are up online right now. Lots of like hoodies and sweatshirts, t-shirts, even a mug. All of these different things are available now. We highly recommend you to check it out. Very, very excited about that. We have all of our upcoming events up on our link tree, so you can find that on Instagram or just by typing in this URL right here. That we're really excited about. So I'll give a little sneak peek preview into what we have for next week at the end of our call today. And then finally, if for any reason you did not sign up for this call on Eventbrite and you got the link elsewhere, just make sure you send me your email because we have a free gift that we're handing out to all of our attendees. This was put together by one of our speakers, Lance Duncan, and it is an NFT art and crypto dictionary with all of the terms that you really need to know to get started in that space. And then finally, we are currently working towards our Young Curators Showcase, which is a big event we are planning in June in New York City. And we're really excited to be bringing a bunch of our new and former students, as well as other young creatives and young artists to the space to be able to show their work. And so if you are able to contribute and give us a donation, we would very much appreciate it. And we have that QR code right there. All righty, so let's see, I'm gonna get things going. I'm also just gonna ask anyone, if you're not speaking, please make sure to mute yourself so we can eliminate any background noise. And throughout the whole presentation, if you have questions, comments, anything you want to share, feel free to use the chat, raise your hand, and we'll make sure we get to those promptly. All right, and here we go. So quickly, I'm going to introduce our first featured speaker for today. We are being joined by Lance Duncan. He is a sophomore at Amherst College studying economics and political science. In 2017, he began mining, researching, and investing in cryptocurrencies and has been interested in blockchain solutions ever since. Lance has been closely watching as NFTs have risen into the mainstream. He's also been working with the Fearless Artist to begin developing our own kind of community in the NFT and cryptocurrency space. We're really, really excited to have him. And so just so we can kind of get everyone started on the same foundation, make sure we all are on the same page moving forward to the rest of the conversation today, Lance is going to lead us through a presentation on kind of the basics. You think about it as the frequently asked questions about NFTs. So I'm going to stop this and Lance, take it away. I'll pull up your slides in just a second.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. I want to start by thanking you guys all for coming today to our discussion on NFTs. Just a little bit of like ground rules. In this presentation, I'm going to be introducing some terms and definitions that might be new to some of you guys. Some of you guys might already know them, but if you have any questions about anything that I'm saying or any terms you want me to clarify or anything like that, I would recommend that you drop a comment or a question in the chat. And then at the end of this presentation, I'm going to kind of go through all of those chat questions and try to provide answers for you guys. Next slide, please. So what is an NFT or a non-fungible token? Let's start with the word fungible. Fungibility is the ability to be replaced by another identical item. The Mona Lisa would be an example of a non-fungible art piece because there's only one Mona Lisa painting. Even if you were to produce a copy, those copies would not be the real thing. An NFT or a non-fungible token is a digital asset that is written into a blockchain and only belongs to you. So what is a blockchain? A blockchain is essentially a digital ledger of transactions that is duplicated and distributed across an entire network of computers. NFTs or non-fungible tokens are items that are bought and sold and stored using these interconnected networks, these networks that we call blockchains. An NFT often takes the form of art, photography, or videos. Next slide, please. So how do I purchase an NFT? Can I just use my credit card, United States dollars? Not directly. NFTs are purchased using cryptocurrencies. Think of cryptocurrencies like dollars, but instead of being issued by a bank, they are issued by the blockchain. Ethereum is the name of the most popular blockchain for NFTs, and transactions on Ethereum's blockchain are conducted using its native cryptocurrency called Ether. Though there are other blockchains like Solana that support NFTs, most NFTs are sold on the Ethereum blockchain right now. I think it's over like 90% of NFTs are on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's the blockchain that you're going to want to be most familiar with when we're talking about NFTs. So in order to get Ether or like begin to start doing transactions on the Ethereum blockchain, you're going to want to have cryptocurrency, and you're going to need to visit a cryptocurrency exchange like a Coinbase or a Binance.us, which are the two most popular exchanges, in order to convert your United States dollars for Ether. You can then take that Ether, send it to your wallet, and use that Ether on a marketplace like OpenSea to begin purchasing your NFTs. Next slide, please. Largely, there are two different approaches when it comes to creating NFT art. Firstly, you have one-off visuals that are sold as NFTs, and these are very similar to traditional paintings or digital artworks. If you were to take a photograph right now and list it on an NFT marketplace like OpenSea, you would have just created a one-off visual. Right now, the most prominent artist making one-off visual works, his name is Beeple, and he recently sold a single piece for $69 million. Two of Beeple's works are featured on the left of this slide. The other type of NFT art is referred to as projects or collections. Projects sit at the cross-section of art and collectibles. Like Pokemon cards, these projects take a template and produce hundreds or thousands of variations to be sold. Generative projects are a specific type of project, and they put drawn assets into a program and they combine them at random, creating images with varying levels of rarity. A project called Bored Ape Yacht Club is currently the most popular generative project, and there are 10,000 bored apes, each of which with a different combination of facial expressions, clothing, accessories, and bored sell on NFT marketplaces like OpenSea for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they grant their owners, many of which being celebrities, access to a private Discord server where they can chat, hang out, and network. It is common to see owners of bored apes or other high-profile collections display their NFTs as their Twitter avatars. Next slide, please. A few other prominent projects are Cool Cats, CryptoPunks, and Doodles. As you can see, these are generative projects with each piece in a collection featuring a common style, but each of them having different traits. Next slide, please. So why would someone buy an NFT? The first thing that I think is important to understand why someone would buy an NFT is uniqueness. Similarly to why somebody would be willing to buy somebody's painting, like somebody's going to buy an NFT if they feel that it's unique, or if a project that they're buying into, they feel like provides a value that differentiates that project artistically and conceptually from the projects that came before them. The next thing is utility. There are many different ways that an NFT can provide utility.
Zoom meeting on NFTs.
There's a lot of different ways that NFTs can provide utility to people who purchase them. For digital art that is stored on the blockchain, the NFT's primary utility tends to be aesthetic value, people liking the way that they look. Because NFTs are stored and verified on the blockchain though, NFT ownership can be used to do other things like verify membership access, to issue in-game items for a video game, or to provide access to conferences, for example, as kind of a token that to prove that you're supposed to be there. A personal example of NFT utility is that for a trading card marketplace that my friend and I are working on, we will be issuing NFTs as proof that we have verified a person's ownership of a physical trading card and assigned a rating to the condition of that card. This NFT would allow that person to show people evidence that they possess this card without having to carry around a physical copy and risk damaging it or losing it. The next thing is community. NFT projects with large engaged communities and large presences on social media provide spaces for buyers to network, bond, and discuss their specific pieces. and also the future of the project. And some projects even take input from the community about what they should do next, what art they should release next, and how they should kind of move forward in the storyline of what they're attempting to put forth. And then the last thing is very common, especially in traditional art world, which is investment. Like traditional art, you can buy NFTs as a speculative investment. This is when you purchase an NFT with the belief that it will increase in value so that you can sell it at a later date. Next slide, please. So what are the roles in the NFT space? One very pretty obvious role is the role of the artist. It is my belief that NFTs provide a massive opportunity for artists. NFTs provide a potential avenue for an individual's work to be seen and distributed by thousands of people. And unlike authors or composers, in the physical art market, artists rarely benefit from the resales of their work. With NFTs and with NFT art, they do. One massive appeal of NFTs is that NFT marketplaces like OpenSea allow artists to receive royalties for their work. This means that every time that an artist's NFT is sold to somebody else by somebody else, they receive a percentage from this deal. If an artist places a 10% royalty fee on an NFT and sells it for $1,000, and later down the line, someone resells their art for $20,000, the artist would receive $2,000 from that resale, or 10% of that $20,000. The next is buyers. Buyers get the opportunity to support an artist, participate in communities, or receive any other utility that that specific NFT project or art provides to them. And then the last major role is the NFT Flipper. NFT flippers look to buy an NFT and sell it quickly for profit. While you can be successful as an NFT flipper, there's a decent amount of risk involved with this. Because there are so many people trying to discover the next big project in the NFT space and speculating on the market, this can inflate the price of specific projects based on the hype or the Twitter following of that specific project. Furthermore, there are a lot of cases when a project can launch, sell out, and then if that community or those people who actually started that project don't actually have a commitment towards their community, then they might just abandon the project and run away with the money that they've initially raised. So you have to be, especially if you're an NFT flipper, you have to be very cognizant of who exactly you're giving your money to and kind of what their reputation is within the scene. Next slide, please. As I've discussed, a large part of the NFT space is comprised of digital art, which presents a massive opportunity for talented artists. It also offers, like the NFT space also offers other opportunities though. In this space broadens itself to games, photography, music, and even real estate. So for games, generally NFT games function by using Ethereum or other cryptocurrencies as an in-game currency. This means that the in-game economy is directly connected to the real-life value of cryptocurrency. In Axie Infinity, the most popular NFT game, for example, you can buy creatures with Ethereum and generate profits in-game by battling other people or breeding your creatures and selling their offspring. Music. So for music, you can sell essentially an album on the blockchain the same way, or a song on the blockchain the same way that you can sell a piece of art on the blockchain. One example of this is American rapper Tory Lanez, who sold 1 million copies of his album When It's Dark as an NFT. The idea was that you could only listen to the album if you currently had ownership of the NFT that he was issuing, and that NFT had to be in your wallet. And once you no longer possess that NFT, or you wish to sell it to somebody else, you can no longer listen to that album, but somebody, for example, who didn't buy one of those 1 million copies could buy a copy, resell, and then now have the ability to listen to the album that they hadn't heard yet. The last thing, perhaps the most confusing type of NFT, is digital real estate. With the rise in the prominence of NFTs, buyers are constantly looking for ways to showcase their works and the different works that they've purchased and supported. And one way to do this is to buy or rent a virtual reality space or a 3D like house or gallery where they can display their NFTs. By putting on a virtual reality headset and entering the digital world in which your NFT exists, virtual reality helps bridge the gap between digital and physical spaces. There's a market for these virtual reality spaces, and these spaces itself, the 3D models of the spaces themselves, can be sold as NFTs. And on the slide there, you see a kind of picture of a digital art gallery and what that would look like. And you could put on a virtual reality headset and it would feel like you're in that gallery space. And this is one way that somebody can show off their digital artworks rather than just having it on their computer screen. Next slide, please. So what does it mean to mint an NFT? What is minting? In simple words, minting NFTs is the process when your digital content becomes part of the blockchain. One important thing to note about minting is that minting is not free on the Ethereum blockchain. You have to pay something that is called a gas fee. Gas fees usually cost between $50 and $200, depending on the demand of the Ethereum network. When there is more demand to mint a specific project than the Ethereum network can process, the transaction fees can skyrocket. This is referred to as a gas war. There's an option on the NFT marketplace, on NFT marketplaces like OpenSea, called lazy minting. Lazy minting is when a seller does not have to pay gas fees to mint an individual item until the item is sold. When a piece is lazy minted and is listed on OpenSea, it is minted once it is sold rather than when it is listed. On OpenSea, buyers pay the gas fee when purchasing a fixed item listing. So essentially, when a person lists their item for a specific price, say $200, then and a gas fee is $50, a buyer would have to pay $250. But if the seller is accepting bids for their artwork and they put it up for auction, then it would be the seller's responsibility to pay the gas fee when accepting the bids for that piece of work. Next slide, please. So what are the important steps of buying an NFT? The first, as I said, is to create an account on a cryptocurrency exchange. And this is where you can buy cryptocurrency like Ethereum in order to begin purchasing NFTs. And two that I would recommend are Coinbase or Binance.us. Another is to create a wallet. So this is where you're going to store that Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency that you're using to buy an NFT. And my recommendation for that is MetaMask. MetaMask, just Google MetaMask, they have a website and their instructions are very clear in terms of how to set up your wallet. And it just is a Google Chrome extension, essentially, that allows you to store your Ethereum. And then once you're in sorry, I lost my train of thought. Once you're in a marketplace like OpenSea, you can automatically just connect your MetaMask wallet to that OpenSea account and then just start using that to fund your transactions or to offload money that you may have made as an artist to your wallet. So as I said, you're going to want to buy Ethereum from these cryptocurrency exchanges, transfer it into the MetaMask wallet, find an NFT marketplace like OpenSea, connect your MetaMask account to OpenSea, and then now you can search on OpenSea until you find a project or an artist that you really like. I would recommend doing some background researches about the artists whose piece you like and would like to buy, the community that this artist comes from or operates in, as well as the utility of the NFT project or piece. And if you do research and you like what you see and you like the art piece, then I would suggest buying it. Another note is that following people on Twitter is a good way to find out about like new reveals, projects, up and coming artists, and insights within the community of NFTs. The directions for selling NFTs are pretty similar to the directions of buying NFTs. And later this afternoon, we'll be walking through exactly how a artist would go about minting an NFT work. We're going to use OpenSea, which is the marketplace that I suggested as kind of the gold standard right now within the world of NFTs. So let me check chat quickly to see if there are any questions that I can answer. I don't see any major questions. So I'm going to start kind of moving into the interview section of this presentation.
I see, sorry, Lance, one just popped into the chat here. What types of art sell best and how do people market their NFT art and get attention for it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'll start with the marketing part of that question. So one major way to market right now is on Twitter. Twitter is really the place where a lot of NFT conversations and dialogue, and there's these things called Twitter Spaces, which are essentially kind of like group chats and video, like audio chats with people to kind of stir up the community and gain support around specific projects or just talk through different issues. So that's one avenue is Twitter. And then another avenue is Discord, which is a platform, an audio platform, where you can build a community and have different voice chats and channels where you're advertising a specific project, providing people with information. But just like anything else, like whether your NFT project sells, it's not just going to be about how good the art is. It's going to be about how many eyes you can get this art in front of. Another thing, so for the other part of the question is what type of art sells best? Right now, the main things are digital art pieces are selling very, very well. And a lot of generative projects, as I kind of said, these kind of template-based projects where you can build a massive community and generate, say, 10,000 works are selling very, very well because it's very easy to build a community around, say, Cool Cats, which is behind Sniper right now. Everybody has a cat that looks like everybody else's cat to some extent, but they're different. So you can relate to other people over what cat you specifically have and build a community around that specific thing. So I think that that's a great question. And these kind of large community-based generative projects are selling very well. But there's also artists, especially artists who have established themselves a little bit in traditional mediums that are able to just kind of produce a one piece or just a very small collection and sell these for large amounts of money. But that's because they're able to get in front of a lot of people's eyes. Another thing too that we're trying to do at TFA is make it so that some smaller artists can get in front of a lot of eyes. So we're trying to build up a community that we can kind of leverage and use to support these smaller artists so that their work too, like a Beeple, can get noticed even if they're releasing a small collection.
I'm seeing one more question here in the chat, and then I want to make sure we get into our interview. But Ra asks, are one-off visuals digital renditions of 3D works of art? Are they actual 3D works of art, or both?
Yeah, so that's also a great question. And it really depends. It can be both. So you can have a piece of art that's essentially just a digital art piece of somebody who opens up their art making app Procreate and just paints with an Apple Pencil and then uploads that to the blockchain and sells it. And then you can also have a piece of art that's a 3D rendering of a sculpture that they can open on OpenSea and look at, and they can like orient it within a 3D space. Or you can put that in your digital, like, as I said, virtual reality is involved in NFTs as well. So you can put a sculpture that you've purchased as a one-off visual rendering inside of your virtual reality gallery space. So it really depends. So it could be either of these things. I would say that this digital art that's kind of just a painting type of picture is most popular, but 3D sculptures that are rendered as well can sell.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for these great questions in the chat. I want to make sure that we get to our interview portion. So I'm going to save these. I have promised I have them noted down, and we will return to those after the interview section and before our next speaker after that. But Lance, feel free to introduce our next featured speaker for today.
Yeah, so I first began learning about and investing in cryptocurrencies in 2017. However, my interest in NFTs specifically has arisen more recently and can largely be credited towards my friend who is joining us here today, Sniper. I met Sniper just over a year ago, and soon after we met, he introduced me to NBA Top Shot, the first NFT project that I paid attention to and purchased. Currently, Sniper is doing amazing things in the NFT community, including but not limited to writing articles on NFTs, leading discussions in the NFT space, in Twitter spaces, and hosting a great podcast on Spotify called Sit Down with Sniper. We are really lucky to have him here. In the next section, I'm going to be conducting a short interview with Sniper so that we can learn a little bit about him and his experiences in the NFT space. So for my first question for you, Sniper, for you right now, what are some of your favorite NFT projects in the space, and why are you kind of drawn to those specific projects?
Well, I appreciate it, Lance, for the kind introduction, for one. And it's really cool to be here and speak to everyone. But for me, there's been two big projects that I've been following. One I've been following for the last year. You can see it behind me. I don't know which way I need to point, but you can see it behind me. It's one of the Cool Cats. I do own 3 of them currently. But Cool Cats was a big thing to me because I started, like you said, with Top Shot, and then I kind of moved towards the generative projects, which is where I found Cool Cats in July. They've been 2 great examples I use for onboarding people. Both have great similarities. So for example, they're both huge community-driven projects. So at the end of the day, like, you know, people do like art. That is one thing, but they want to be able to communicate with other people. They want to be able to go to the Discord server, have a great time when talking to others. Whenever they've even held in real life events, and whenever you go to those, it's amazing people. And actually some of the in real life events that Cool Cats have hosted have ended up becoming other projects from people meeting at those. So I know a couple people that became great friends, and they went on to start a project, and then, you know, had a lot of success. So that was really cool. You know, and the fact that Cool Cats turned into a legitimate business, they went from, you know, everyone having them as their profile picture, which they still do, to now they've went to a business side, actually hired people from Microsoft, actually hired people that know what they're doing past just drawing a cat. So that was something that I really like about that community. And I said crypto ray rays, and what that is basically a pixelated art, and it's a dog, who the founder is one of my friends. His name is Dose. And whenever he made it, he went kind of the non-traditional route. He, because most projects have what's called a roadmap, and a roadmap is basically what it says. It, whenever you read it, it kind of gives you step by step of what that project is going to do throughout the future, what their goals are, and what you can expect from them. And Dose kind of eliminated the whole roadmap aspect, and that community is more driven by everyone coming together, having a great time, everyone just being able to share a server together. It's a great beginner NFT. For example, whenever we do these Twitter spaces like you were speaking about, we would give away multiple crypto ray rays. And right now, I mean, they're worth $300, $400, $500, but it was just a great way to onboard people that never had an NFT. And that's what the whole community was about. And that's what I guess gave it more of a demand, because everyone wanted to be involved with a project that was being spoke about, I guess I should say, so highly in the community, and other people wanted to be known as that project that was just so kind and nice. But I've based a lot of my money and a lot of my investments on the community of projects, more or less about the art, because for, like you said, Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example, I had the chance to buy them when they were under 1 ETH, and now they currently sit at 120 ETH. And I didn't buy them because I didn't enjoy the art. So I mean, for me, it's about the community. I didn't really find myself fitting in with that community, so I didn't want to put a lot of my money behind it. And you know, so, but we'll talk about that later, you know, how I do the short-term investing. But hopefully that answers your question for the first one.
Yeah, I think it absolutely did. I think that's a great answer. For my next question, my understanding is that you were an early believer in the Cool Cats project, as you talked about a little bit, and you currently own 3 cats. The floor price for Cool Cats is now almost 12 Ethereum, meaning that a single Cool Cat NFT sells for over $30,000. When you first bought pieces from the project, did you ever see it getting this popular? And what is the success of the Cool Cats project meant for you?
You have some really good questions right there, and I just want to touch up on a couple points. So that's what's really crazy about this whole NFT market. Any project in general, whether it's a great one, not great one, beginning, new, old, been around for a while. Cool Cats, whenever you had written this down, it was 12 ETH. 12 ether. I'm sorry, I don't know the correct way to pronounce that part, but the floor price was 12. And as of right now, I believe the floor price is like 9 or 10. So the price fluctuation can be quick, but like you said, it's still a very large amount of money. For someone like me, I've never made over $12,000 a year. So whenever you look at having an asset that's worth $30,000, or you have 3 of them, that can be nerve-wracking at times. I did believe in the team early on. They released on July 1st, and it's very funny because they released at a price of 0.05, which around the time was like $200, I think. And then they didn't sell out, and they wanted to be inclusive. So they wanted more people to join the project, and everyone in the community was saying, hey, we think you should lower the price for a more affordable price. So they did that. The same day they cut it down to 0.02, and for $50 they sold out. and it was a big boom. That was on July 1st, and then July 13th is when I got introduced to him. Just by kind of looking in the community and looking at what was going on in the world and what people, I guess you could say, was spending their money on. And I became great friends with the founders, Colin, Evan, Tom, and Link, which are the 4 head founders of the project. And I became mostly friends with Colin, which is Klein, in the beginning. And after speaking several times, he actually gifted me my first Cool Cat, which is what you see behind me, Cool Cat 2512. So that was like a big thing to me. And at first, like I said, they were only roughly about $200-300. I would go on, and like I had stated, someone who hadn't made a lot of money in their life. So to see this Cool Cat go from 200, 2,000, 12,000, 20,000, 30,000, it was nerve-wracking, but I had told myself I was never going to sell it because it was a gift. So from early on, I told myself, if I believe in this team so much, I will try to get others myself. So I did end up getting 2 more, but I always thought it was going to be something big. I can honestly say I never imagined it would get to this level. But the success has been great, not only for me, but for the founders and the team. I have a lot of friends that work on that team. So I'm blessed to be able to say that I know all the people on that team, and they're great people.
Awesome. For my next question, what type of NFT consumer would you consider yourself? Do you primarily look to purchase NFTs as an investment to support the artist, as an entry point to a community of a project, or is it some kind of combination of these things?
I think that's where a lot of people have mixed emotions, because nobody wants to, I won't say nobody, more people would like to come in and be very kind about it. The NFT space, I would like to say, is a very welcoming space. But at the end of the day, everyone can agree that we're here to make money, just like anything else in the world. Money is what goes around. So for me, it's 100% a combination of all of these things, because at the end of the day, like I said, we're all here with one general mindset. I largely look at it first as an investment, and then secondly as supporting the artist. If I was a quadrillionaire, or had tons of money, I would love to give all these artists money every day and support every single artist. But if I did that, I would go broke, and there's nobody to support me. So firstly, it's really just about what can help me position myself better, and then from that aspect, is the artist that I'm supporting, do I feel, not to judge them, but do I feel like this is what I want to put my money behind? Do I support this, the image that they have? What is the history that they've given me on social media? If they're just a person who gives me nothing but horrible vibes and they're constantly talking down on other people, then supporting that artist wouldn't really be something that I want to do. But yeah, I would say that it would come more of an investing side, and then fall under the supporting the artist.
Sure. Next question is, it seems like everyone is attempting to capitalize off the hype surrounding NFTs. With so many NFT projects launching daily and different artists entering the scene, how do you begin to distinguish the strong community-centered projects, or the artists that really care about their craft, versus those who are just launching projects as kind of opportunists attempting with profit without kind of regard for anybody else in the space?
I would say that a big thing that always pops up is people say DYOR, which stands for do your own research. The projects looking to make a quick dollar are what we refer to as a rug. So their main intention is to get as much money as they can, with no intention of following through with the product that they have shown everyone. I take my research very seriously, and it's helped me get to where I am today. I don't follow or watch anyone's wallet. which is something you can do. So, I mean, everything is public on the blockchain. So you can go and search anyone's wallet, see their transaction history. And that's became very helpful. Whenever some people like to watch other people's wallets who are very good at trading or say they are very good at trading and kind of base it off that. Anytime I had ever tried to follow someone's advice or watch someone's wallet with no experience, no knowledge of the project, it would always fail. I would try to find people who were already an artist before the NFT project and someone who takes all the steps of turning their project into a legitimate business. For example, Cool Cats did a giveaway for 13 separate Cool Cats. And whenever they did so, they put a pause on the giveaway for 2 months or like a month, just so they could work out all the legality issues for, giving a $30,000 asset to just a random person in the world, because, they made sure that everyone was above, I believe, 21. It couldn't be certain parts of the world, just the certain steps that it would take from a legal aspect of handing out a free $30,000 because there's taxes and all that. So yeah, that's just kind of how I look at it. I feel like, yeah, that's my main take on that.
So for the next question, I've listened to quite a few episodes of your podcast, Sit Down with Sniper, and I've tuned into a few of your Twitter Space conversations on NFTs. To me, you're not only just an NFT guy, I view you as somewhat of an educator. What has led you to make this decision to be kind of so involved in the community of NFTs?
No, I really appreciate the kind words, brother. But everything came naturally. As funny as that sounds, it kind of just fell into my circle of competence. I watch trends every day, and I say that as in like, what do people gravitate towards? For my age, I'm 25, so a couple years back it was shoes, clothing. Then it would circle around to trading cards. Then it would circle around to hats, and then I just always tried to look at what the trends were, regardless of what it was. And I saw NFTs back in December of 20th and 21st start to the year 21 start to become a big thing. And after researching, it was something that was huge. And I thought, I try to watch a lot of videos like of Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, and I try to look at things of, if I'm going to invest into it, can it change what people are doing today? If it's not going to change the way they chew gum, then so I would look at things like, how could this change not the everyday world? So let's say interacting with other people, going to your everyday job, shopping, those things could be changed with NFTs. So I actually thought it was something that was worth looking at. And that's really when it clicked to me that there was a lot more than just spending $30,000 on a picture.
And then for the last question, one of the fundamental and foundational goals of the Fearless Artist is to help artists get their work seen, shared, and sold. One thing that TFA is looking to do is to branch out into the NFT space and cultivate a thriving community on Discord, Twitter, and Telegram for artists to share their work. This community would be an incredibly collaborative environment, and it would allow artists to network with other artists, NFT enthusiasts, investors, and developers. Based on what you've seen in the NFT community, what is the demand for collaborative spaces like these?
I would say the demand is there in my eyes. I will say that not everyone has a voice, and even those who do may feel it isn't loud enough. I do feel like we need more people willing to help, but with the space being so new, it can be difficult to navigate or find genuine people. So it is rough whenever you have a genuine place like TFA reach out and wanting to help others, and then so many other people have been scorned from previous people who claim to be genuine. But like I said, I do think there's a place for it. I think if TFA took the route of getting more diverse with media platforms and staying consistent, that it does have the chance to do something amazing. I think we're still early, but that doesn't mean that I would be waiting around. That was kind of what made me do the podcast. Like, I was like, podcasts have been a thing, but I don't see a lot of NFT podcasts. I need to do this now. I need to really jump in now and not wait. And I suggest TFA does the same thing. But I really enjoy it here and what you're doing and what you guys have done today. This is a beautiful thing, and I greatly appreciate getting the opportunity to get on here and speak to everyone about NFTs and maybe help people, get their first NFT. I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone does, and you yourself, Lance and Maggie. So yeah, congratulations on this whole process.
Awesome, thank you so much. That was my last question for you, Sniper, and I think you provided a lot of insightful commentary on your experiences in the NFT space and your opinions on some of the things that I asked you. And so I would like to thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Now I think we should transition to the section where we're kind of demoing how to mint an NFT. We don't have a ton of time, so Maggie, take away.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sniper. Thank you, Lance. That was really, really insightful and really great to hear everything. Let me pop this on the screen real fast. So next up, we are joined today with our final featured speaker for today, who is David Benjamin. Just to give a really quick introduction, and then we'll get into the fun part, minting this NFT live, which is going to be really, really exciting. I'll also throw in some questions during the process, so we can make sure we get these questions in from the chat. But just to give a little bit of a background, David is an American technologist and children's writer. He has had leadership roles in startups, nonprofits, and social enterprises in emergent fields. As a shift shaper, his work focuses on collective wisdom and altering systems of consciousness for positive impact. And yeah, thank you so much, David, for joining us today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and everyone definitely pay close attention. We're going to be walking you through the actual process of minting an NFT right now. So David and Lance, feel free to take it away, and I'm going to go back to the chat, and I'll just ask some questions while we're doing that.
All right. Thank you, Maggie. Good to be here, everyone. My name is David Benjamin. I'm here in Tulum, Mexico. Been here for about 10 months right now. And just to give a really quick intro about me is, yeah, all my projects are about regeneration. One in particular is really focused on NFTs at the moment, and it's called the Pacha Verse. It's a story world about a little girl named Pacha. When she goes to sleep, whatever's on her pajamas becomes her dream world. And she ends up going to the forest, the jungle, actually, where she meets the whale, the hummingbird, the tree, the pebble, the jaguar, and the mushroom from her pajamas. And they end up hosting this huge festival in nature to bring all species together. And through that, she learns that we're all connected. And so this project actually failed in 2017 because it wasn't able to get funding. But now we're bringing it back around as an NFT project because we have all these assets. There's the story, there's the imagery, there's the videos, there's the soundtrack, the music. We have everything. So we decided, well, let's take advantage of this new world where you can use NFTs to actually finance things. And I'm really excited about the possibility in the future when young people, kids, are growing up with this idea in their mind that they can actually finance their dreams. When I was growing up, and it's still to a certain extent, it just feels really hard to finance things. We have all these ideas in the world, but to actually get them off the ground and get money behind them and get community behind them is very difficult. I think that's changing, and NFTs are an important part of that change. So yeah, let's get into the process. I think when Kiki and Maggie asked me to give this talk, we wanted to break down NFTs and make sure that everybody really understood them, and Lance was in this conversation as well. And we said, well, maybe actually creating an NFT will be the best way to do that. And Lance has opened up the OpenSea site, and you see that there's a wallet. So this thing that's popped. Can you close the wallet, Lance? This is okay. So this is what your screen looks like when you normally go to OpenSea. Now Lance is gonna click the Firefox icon up at the top, and that's gonna bring up his wallet. What is a wallet? Well, it's like the wallet you have in your pocket, except for that it contains your digital assets. There's two different types of digital assets. Lance mentioned them earlier. One is fungible. Those are the ones that can be exchanged for each other. So every Bitcoin is like every other Bitcoin. Every Ethereum is like every Ethereum. Every Solana is like every other Solana token. But non-fungible tokens, every single one of them is different. And you can have both fungible and non-fungible tokens. So this account right now is 0 ETH. You have any with any money in them, or do you want to go to? Let's go back to that, Lance. Let's dissect this wallet. Open it up again one more time. So this wallet is what you can consider Web3. When someone says Web3, they're talking about wallets, the integration of blockchain into the basic web. And what this wallet is doing is it has the potential to let this website know what digital assets the wallet holder has. And you can see at the top of the wallet, it says Ethereum mainnet. That means that this wallet right at this moment is connecting to the Ethereum network. Lance, click that caret next to Ethereum mainnet up at the top. Yeah, right there. Because we're gonna go to Polygon, correct?
Yes. Wait, sorry, this.
That right next to Ethereum mainnet, that little down caret.
Oh yeah, got you. Switch.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna need to add Polygon, huh? You have the information? I can grab it if you don't.
Yeah, could you grab that quickly? I know that I think if you click to create an NFT on the OpenSea website, it gives you a drop down to change it.
Let's do it. Let's do it then. If we can, I'll search for it just in case it doesn't give it to you. So we're going to connect our MetaMask wallet to OpenSea. OpenSea is the site that's open right now.
Sign it, right?
Okay, so we're going to create an item. Maggie actually made this beautiful GIF for the fearless artist. So the key thing here is to note that this is just like any other form. You've all created so many forms on the internet. Anytime you go and fill out a survey, or you're uploading something, or you're always just creating a form. So we're just gonna create one here, and Lance is starting to fill in some things. And so there's the name. We don't need an external link. The description, this is the artist circle NFT, right? Is that right,
Yes.
Maggie? The artist circle
Yes,
NFT.
indeed. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll put that, and maybe we put that as a name as well, just so that people know.
And while we're filling this out, I just want to ask, because we have some questions in the chat here. There's one, is there a way to mint an NFT for free?
Yeah, Polygon. We're about to go on the Polygon network, and with the Polygon network on OpenSea, it's free. All right, so Lance is selecting Polygon right now. And so, yes.
Super quickly, for most other cryptocurrencies, if you're like using Solana, for example, on OpenSea, you're right, you would need to change the wallet first. I think the reason why you don't need to is because Polygon is actually built on top of the Ethereum blockchain.
Okay, that totally makes sense. And so here's some things to note that we could fill out. We could fill out properties. So this would be the actual attributes of the NFT. So these NFTs a lot of times have rarities. Rarities are extra things that are on this particular NFT that make it more rare than other ones. For example, maybe there's one with a special, where the character has a special pair of sunglasses, or there's another one where there's a background that's particularly interesting. So you put in the type of rarity. So this one in particular doesn't necessarily have a rarity, but you know, if we did 1,000 of these, and if we decided that 100 of them would have a special background that popped up at the end, then we would say background is the type and the name would be special, and that would be our attribute. But we can just get out of there. You can also add levels, which is kind of similar, but just suggesting that your NFT, a particular NFT has a certain level, and the different levels will have different values. So this is just another way of signaling value. There's the stat. There's also this other thing that's actually pretty unique to, well, I don't know if it's completely unique, but it's a feature that you don't see on a lot of different NFT galleries, which is unlockable context. So this means if you go ahead and click there, we can specify information here that only the person who owns the NFT will be actually able to access. So this is kind of an interesting thing that could be like a treasure hunt. It could be a discount code. It could be some kind of link that goes to something free or something exciting or something secret. The point is here that you're able to really build in this extra feature that is only accessible. So it's an exclusive thing for me who might want to buy it, that I can get this. There's, you know, if it's explicit content, you can check that. That isn't applicable here. And if you actually there's a way to actually create multiple versions of this. We're just going to create one.
You can also do it right here when it says supply. You can change it for Polygon.
Perfect. And then you just hit create, and you know, we've uploaded and put in the metadata, and now it's going to ask us to sign things, I believe. Oh wow, it already created it. It didn't even ask us to sign it. That's amazing. Okay, so now we have created an NFT, and you see how easy it is, right? Are there any questions? Do we have any questions, Maggie, about this?
Yes, absolutely. So let me see here. We have a question from Chris in the chat. How does NFT residual distribution happen for creative work that's sold multiple times? I read that that's not figured out by the industry yet.
Well, each platform will allow you to specify a certain amount of royalties. Lance, was there a royalty field in this one?
I didn't see it on this, and so I'm thinking maybe that's purely just on the Ethereum blockchain rather than the Polygon network. I would have to look into that though, but I didn't see it as an option right here. I also do think that it might be you having to actually click to sell it because we've minted the NFT, we haven't sold it yet.
Oh, that's it. Go ahead and hit sell. That's it. I was wondering where we need to specify the royalty, which is that answering Chris's question, is basically building it in. So so we have quantity that we're selling, and we put an amount in there, and it says free service fee. More options. Go to more options first, actually. Let's see what that is.
Reserve for a specific buyer.
Okay, no. So yeah, I think you must be right, Lance, that this one in particular with Polygon is not allowing this, but generally, and I know through the Ethereum chain, that when you create the NFT, you can specify a percentage that will go to the creator. In some of these other platforms, like for example, Metaplex, which is built on top of Solana, also Mintbase, which is built on top of Near, and I'm sure a number of other ones will allow you to specify multiple creators and multiple percentages to go to each one of them. So actually, the residual distribution is completely automatic. When the sale happens, the secondary sale happens, the marketplace consults the NFT, and it essentially sends the royalties to all the creators that are listed within the actual NFT. So the NFT contains that information and is therefore able to specify where all the distribution happens without anyone have to doing it manually. And we'll come back and figure out this thing with the Polygon one, why it didn't allow us to do that. Any other questions?
I want to say, just because we have some folks that are, expressing interest in this one for sure, we're going to be in touch with you all throughout the next couple of days, so we can get you anyone attending this call with a wallet will get you the NFT we have here for free. That's part of your gift for attending today. So thank you all for being here. Very exciting. I'm seeing, let me scroll back and make sure I got these. Okay, we have a question here from Larry Duncan. How do we increase visibility for artists of color and especially Black artists in the NFT space?
Well, I'm going to speak about it, but I think Lance and other people may have some thoughts about it. In my mind, we need to create on-ramps for artists so that they understand what's possible now. And so that means either providing educational opportunities for people or making people aware of the educational opportunities for them to learn what's possible and how they can get started in the area. I think doing what TFA is doing here and in other aspects of the work where they're bringing artists together to collaborate is also a really important aspect of this, because we're all at different points along the path, but we can help each other. And for example, I'm doing a collection. I put the URL in the chat. It's called Pacha Verse, and the Pacha Verse collection, we could certainly use help from people who might want to moderate our Discord, who might want to help with promotion, etc. And so by helping and joining my project could be a way for people to learn. And what TFA is doing is creating a platform for many people to share what they're working on, and for other people who may not be working on a project right now to say, hey, I'd like to help out. Or maybe people can, through these different forums, get a understanding of what's possible. And then they can say, hey, you know what? I want to start a project that's based on some of the work that I'm doing. And I'm looking for people within this community who want to learn some other aspects of this project, including not only maybe creating the art, but also the promotion, et cetera. So I think coming together as a community and really supporting each other is most important. But I'd love to hear what Lance or Sniper or some of the other people have to say.
I mean, you covered most of what I was going to try to touch on. I think that creating on-ramps is super important. And I hope that with my work, trying to kind of cultivate a community with NFTs, there's definitely going to be a space for plenty of people of color and diversity spaces and things of that sort that prioritize kind of underrepresented communities to try to onboard them into the community for sure.
Any other ones, Maggie?
Let me see here. We have a question from Milka in the chat. They say, I'm not an artist, but I want to create my own NFT. Can I do that? What kind of NFT can I create not being an artist?
Well, there's a whole bunch of people who are not artists who are creating generative collections that are making large amounts of money. I think the thing that's more important with respect to those generative projects, like the one that Sniper was talking about and that Lance has been talking about, is creating the team of people. And a lot of times they're going to Fiverr to get the art. What could happen though is people who are not artists could come to forums like TFA and say, hey, I'm looking for artists who can help me do this. And that way it can be kept in the community. We can on-ramp a bunch of people of color and Black and Indigenous artists, and the rewards can be spread out more to the community. So if you have a good idea, I think it would be great if we can create some forums to connect people who are not artists to artists within the TFA community and get some things moving.
And on that point, on the Discord server that I'm attempting to make for TFA and kind of cultivate a community there, that's something that I have in my notes, essentially to have a kind of recruitment pool for specific groups of people. So we'll have a few developers in the TFA community whose work we've seen and who know that who we know are capable, that we could suggest to any artist who comes in and says, I'm an artist, I usually make one-off pieces or one-of-one pieces, but I want to try to start making a generative project. Like, who do I talk to and where do I start? Like, how do I make the code that would generate this into a project that randomly generates combinations? Like, how does this work? I want all those questions to be answerable and have people who are committed towards helping other people in that Discord community.
I can just jump in there as well. I thank you both for your insight on that question as well. I think definitely, Lance, like you were talking about, we at TFA especially, we're really determined to like make a space where anyone, no matter the type of art they create or whether they consider themselves an artist in the first place, to be able to connect and work on these projects and find the economic empowerment, the creative empowerment, everything that comes along with it. So, TFA, just to give everyone a little bit of background, we started talking about art and cryptocurrency back in 2018 at our Art Basel pop-up gallery, TFA pop-up. And so ever since then, it's been a really great learning experience, always bringing in new information, new people, folks like David who spoke at our last event and in 2018 as well. And that really brought us in December 2021 to our Art and Cryptocurrency Summit down at Art Basel Miami as well. And so moving into this year, definitely our goal is to expand the community, bring people in, take the, I'm seeing like a lot of folks in the chat that are talking about, making not digital art and how they can kind of get involved in that space. So we definitely want to be that platform for you all, bring everyone in, answer your questions, start with education, and then build connections between everyone so we can make all these really cool, really exciting projects happen. I want to see here. Ra is asking in the chat, is it better to lazy mint or to mint your NFT before you sell it? If anyone has any opinions on that.
I don't know if David and Snip have anything to say on that. I would suggest lazy minting, just so that you know that you have like money coming in, or somebody to actually buy your piece before you're like putting the money up to mint it. So I would recommend lazy minting.
I'm still a big fan of lazy minting is a great way to do it. Me personally, I always say, regardless of what you're doing, minting, starting a project, to always try to like lay back and ask all the questions, kind of like how we're doing here, but also ask people who have been well diverse in the community, like what works for them, watch videos on videos on videos. Because even with me, I did start a year ago, but I didn't just start NFTs overnight. I definitely looked a lot into it. So I definitely suggest that too, with even if you do either or, lazy minting or not, just look a lot into it and fully understand, because we can't really, with what short time we have, we can't explain it to the full extent that we would like to.
I have a quick question that I would love to ask, just with the, particularly with generative projects, like what goes into that? What do I need to know to create a generative project? Like, do I need to know, where do I get started, like with coding or creating it? Like, just what goes into that, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Lance, you want me to do it? You want me to take this one? Okay, so with generative projects, there is ways to do it. There's multiple ways to do it, I feel. One of the most popular would be, there usually is a program, RNG, which is a random number generator. So if I have 10,000 cool cats, 50 faces, I have to draw 50 different faces. I have to draw one base of the cool cat. I have to draw 50 different shirts. Someone then plugs that into a I guess you could say a program, and then that would be what generates the different outcomes. Or you could do it don't always have to be that complicated. Some people just open up Photoshop or Procreate, which are both apps or things that people can just draw on and then upload the image. Not all of these are super. There have literally been people that will hand draw 1,000. Vinny Hager, for example, he didn't use any computer algorithms or none of that. He just literally drew 1,000 different pieces by hand and then uploaded them on OpenSea, and then that was kind of his take at it. And then you have people like Doug from a collection called Toy Boogers, which he has 3,333 pieces. They were all hand drawn and they were all hand mixed, meaning he used no computer program to assemble all of these pieces. He went and assembled all of them together by hand and drew them and then uploaded them. So, you know.
I'll go ahead and just add in that nowadays there's a lot of launch pads. Launch pads are essentially a platform that make it much easier for you to create a generative collection. Generally with them, you'll have to create the art, as Sniper is talking about. But the cool thing about the launch pads is once you've generated the art, they usually have some community built in. They help out with promotions, but probably most importantly, they do the technological piece of creating the landing page for your site, the minting site, the place that people are going to go to actually convert something from being just an image to actually being an NFT on the blockchain forever. That's the minting process that Lance spoke about earlier. They'll build that site for you, so you don't have to do that. And that's actually a big plus, because if you're doing a generative launch with 10,000 pieces and everything, you're gonna want a minting site done. First of all, you have to have a minting site, but you're gonna want one that's actually going to stand up to the or scale to the amount of people who are going to go to it. And if you go to a launch pad, you increase the likelihood that you'll be able to get that. Usually they take I've seen mainly between 10 and 20% of the revenues. I've seen as low as 2 to 4%. But like I said, the majority of them are 10 to 20%. And I think if you don't have a built-in community already, and you don't have the technological capabilities to create the minting site, that it really makes a lot of sense to go with a launch pad, especially one that has a community that you think would vibe with your project. And some examples of them are Monkey Lab, Solarium. What else? Anyone else have any idea, remembers? Magic, Eden, those are all Solana. Are there any other launch pads that people know about?
I don't off the top of my head. I wish I did, but you made a great point, because quickly I did want to say, like, even for example, like the Cool Cats, the creator who made this blue cat was not the same person who was able to get the website together for everyone to mint. He had to get that person on the team, the two people on the team that had been developers for over 20 years, and they quit their day jobs because, they got success from Cool Cats, but they were doing their day jobs, and then they came to help Klon get all that together. So, that is a great thing to be able to have a platform to help you make these websites, because it's not easy whatsoever.
Thank you, everyone. I want to be conscious of time. We're a little bit over. So I just want to end briefly, if I can ask our three speakers just one quick question as well to kind of wrap things up. So with this, trend forecasting, I guess, where do you see NFTs going in the future? Like, what do you predict over the next year, over the next couple of years? as things, you know, it's definitely a rapidly changing space. So I'm just interested in hearing your perspective on where NFTs and art and cryptocurrency are going to go.
I can start. For me, I think that one major place that NFTs can go is kind of moving not away from generative projects, but I think that there's definitely a space for kind of more traditional artists to move into the NFT space as well, and for these kind of generative projects as well as one-of-one works to grow together. I think that especially as like kind of NFT gallery spaces in the metaverse and what we call Web3 starts like building out more. And the graphics are better on virtual reality galleries, and everything is like easier to use, and more people have virtual reality headsets. It's going to produce an incentive for museums to not only have a museum that is physical, but also maybe a digital museum. I mean, we just went through a pandemic, and we know that we can't always leave our house, or some people are just unable to leave their house for whatever reason. So I think that there's a lot of capabilities and potential for NFTs to move beyond just like NFT enthusiasts or the NFT community on Twitter, and for it to kind of permeate into general mainstream life or mainstream society.
I think Lance has a good point. For me, I do think NFTs will be around, whether it be 2, 4, 5, possibly even 10, if not more. I do want to say I do feel generative projects will go down. There's a very popular person, Gary Vaynerchuk, who is noted for saying he believes that 90% of all generative projects will fail. I would probably go close to saying I agree with that statement, for the simple fact of I just don't know how long that could last from my thoughts. I do look at NFTs though. I think they'll be around in the sense of, like I said earlier, will it change the way I go to the store? Will it change the way that I shop? Will it change the way that I read a book? Will it change the way that I buy clothes? Yes, all of them things are possibilities. The utility aspect of things with NFTs, for example, Bobby Hundreds, who owns the clothing line, the 100s, he does NFTs where whenever they drop, that is a release for clothing as well. So it just depends. If people continue to, I guess, try to perfect it as best as they can, I do think we'll be around for the long haul, but it won't be necessarily all art. The metaverse and NFTs both, I think we're still very early on, and a lot of these huge companies look into it. And I think it's like with anything, the more amount of people in the world that put great amount of money into it, I think we'll see it stick around longer and longer.
I agree with both Lance and Sniper. I'll just add on that I think that there's a strong possibility that NFTs will be embedded wherever it makes sense in modern life. It will go well beyond art and visuals to ideas, real estate. What are some of the other ones? Knowledge building blocks. I just see it becoming integral parts of how we do business that allow us to verify things online. And right now, we don't have much of a accountability on the web. And that's because there's not really the ability to trust much there. But with Web3 and NFTs, we now have the possibility of verifying things. So we can verify that this is owned in particular by this person, or there's going to be NFTs as identity. So if someone has an identity NFT, you know that that's that person, because only one person can have that NFT in their wallet. It's just, you can't have multiple exact copies of it. So I see this integration of NFTs that's going to essentially be like an explosion in terms of its actual use. Because right now, 1% of the people in the world have wallets, and not all those wallets even have NFTs in them. So just imagine when we get up to 30% of the people have a wallet and 25% of the people have an NFT. And you know, at some point it's going to be more like 100, and your social security card is going to be an NFT. I believe this is a potential future where your social security card is a NFT if you're in the United States. Your identification, like your driver's license, might be an NFT. Your house could be an NFT. You might have a investment, a partial investment in a fraction of a property that might be an NFT. A timeshare might be an NFT. There may be an NFT associated with your car. There's just so many different possibilities of being able to add a layer of verification and trustworthiness and accountability to our online activities that doesn't really exist at this point. NFTs are a way to do this, and I think it's even more accessible than tokens, than, you know, like cryptocurrency, because you can see an NFT at least in these visual manifestations. So I'm bullish on them. I think that this is a great time to start getting acclimated and start learning about them in earnest. I don't think that you'll be disappointed. It's a good investment of time.
Thank you, David. Sniper, I see you have your hand up if you want to make a
Yeah,
comment.
just quickly, because I know we're short on time. I think the best thing that David said was basically ownership. He didn't say the exact word of ownership, but it's ownership that Web3 is really about. And the quick, perfect example that I use for everybody, whenever you're on Twitter, my name's Sniper. So if someone wanted to, if there was a celebrity, or there pops up a celebrity overnight, and their name is Sniper, they're really famous, and they want their name to be @Sniper on Twitter. Let's say I have that handle already. That person can then go take that handle from me, because I do not have ownership of that Twitter handle. It can be taken from me at any time, because that's Twitter, and they own that. They ultimately own everything on it. My ENS domain that I have, so sniper.eth, nobody can take that from me. That is registered by me, owned on the blockchain by me. And that's what Web3 is ultimately about for artists as well, is reclaiming ownership of what they do, and being able to be rewarded for everything they've done. You know, a lot of people say, you know, I shouldn't be paying $30,000 for this art piece. Well, you're not paying for that art piece. You're paying that person for the last 10 years of what they've done. So yes, ownership is a big thing about Web3. And I just wanted to say that real quick.
Thank you. I think that's a really great point.
Well said.
Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you so much to our three speakers for today. We really appreciate your time, and especially for staying past the original end of the session. We really appreciate it. I have, you know, even myself, I have so many notes and just everyone's insight and things. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you as well to our audience here. I really appreciate seeing so many of you that have been returning week after week, seeing new faces as well. It's really exciting to have you here. Make sure that you join us again for future events, and especially our next NFT conversation in March. I'm going to quickly pull back up our screen just for some little recap announcements. So you can remember, we can find our merch online. I'm going to pop all these links in the chat here real fast. Upcoming events as well. I'll give you a little preview of our next one coming up in just a second. And then of course, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or anything further moving on about this conversation. We'll also be sending the recording, making sure you get your free gift, the NFT dictionary, and also anyone that's interested in getting the little TFA logo NFT that we minted live today as well. So just briefly, I just want to give a little heads up about our next event. So coming up a week from today on the 27th, same time period, we'll start at 2 p.m. EST. We're going to be highlighting Black women creative entrepreneurs. So we're going to be joined by Karen Baker. She is an incredible fiber artist and the founder of Fiber with a Cause. Also Carla Ballard of Ying, which is a skill sharing platform. That's been really exciting, and we're very much looking forward to integrating with our Young Curators program and other programs at the Fearless Artist. Of course, Kiki Somerville, founder and CEO of the Fearless Artist, will be joining us, and then also Nina Young, who's a grant associate that works to give out micro grants specifically for Black women creatives. So you can register for this event on our Linktree on Instagram and all social media, and then also I'm going to pop this link in the chat as well, but if you just go to tinyurl.com/blackwomencreatives, you can find it there as well. So yes, I want to say thank you again, our speakers. Thank you, our audience. So great to see you all. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Right.
you.
Awesome job.
Yeah,
Amazing.
thank you. Thank you.
Really great job.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I'll send you an email afterwards. Thank you for your questions.
Yes, I'm always excited. I don't know. I'm like a little rabbit. I just got to figure out how to order my merchandise, but I will.
Oh, I'll send you the link. Don't worry about it. We'll figure that out.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Stop sharing here.
I have one question.